Okay, hello everyone. My name is Laquan Williams, and today in this video, I'm going to be doing my review for the latest episode of The Flash, which aired yesterday on March 23rd, 2022. It's season 8, episode 8, and it's called The Fire Next Time. And this episode, I would have to say first off that this episode of The Flash was better than last week's episode. There was no partying, no unnecessary BS storylines that you don't care about. And also Barry Allen being locked down in the CCPD police station with Captain Kramer and the rest of the police there, not able to actually do anything. They were defenseless against Goldface, and nobody on Team Flash came to help him because he didn't decide to hit his distress beacon on his cell phone because I guess he doesn't have one because he's the Flash, and usually everybody calls him from their distress beacon on their phones as a team alert for everything that's going on. Plus, they have crime alerts around the city to see if there's any obviously illegal activity going on in the area, metahuman crimes, people robbing banks, hurting people, carjackings, anything like that. But obviously, this episode was much better because it obviously touched a nerve and hit Barry Allen pretty hard. Today was on this episode. It was the day where that Barry Allen obviously got up to go to work. It was his dad's birthday. Unfortunately, as we all know, his father is dead, and obviously his father was framed for killing his mother, even though it was a reverse Flash. And they show flashbacks of Barry Allen's father and him before he went to jail and when he got out of jail, obviously. The reason why is because the guy in this storyline, the main character was the villain slash bad guy who also is an ex-con who got released on parole very early. His name is Jocko. He's supposed to be a metahuman. Well, he is supposed to. He's a metahuman. He controls fire. He's one of those fire, obviously, hotheads. But apparently, in the next episode, obviously, we saw a preview of what it's supposed to be called. I had the trailer posted. Actually, right here, open link. It says that it's called Phantoms. It's called Phantoms. So it's season 8, episode 9, Phantoms. They're looking for somebody who's like a ghost metahuman who has powers that can mimic Jocko's and I guess other people who obviously are apparently, I guess you can say, flame powered not speedsters, metahumans who control fire and flame and whatnot. Anyways, Jocko, his last name is I don't remember it. It's actually Jocko. It was actually Jocko. I don't know why it has that name in here. I can think it's Birch. Yeah, Birch. They decided to put BITC. Well, you can see right here, obviously, the curse word. This is a spell check error on comicbookresources.com, aka CBR. So Jocko Birch obviously was trying to get his son back from custody to be with him full time. His mother abandoned him, so he was obviously the only parent that he has. His father, obviously, he was still talking to him, interacting with him, his son. He called his father a loser, calling him by his first name, Jocko, instead of Dad. We believe that obviously he killed a bartender, the manager slash owner at a bar. He killed that guy. They got into a heated argument over some money situations that involved financial issues with him asking for concert tickets and whatnot because Jocko was a security guard for the rock band The Lips. He was acting like he obviously was a big time, obviously popular guy with the band. He knew them very well. He was friends with them. He told that to his son. His son did not believe him. His son called him a loser. Say he was a failure or whatnot, obviously, and did look down upon his father, did not respect him. Barry Allen believed, obviously, that Jocko was innocent because when the police came to arrest him, he was looking very remorseful and obviously very sad when he got in the car, and Barry Allen had flashbacks. And this was basically the episode where Barry Allen said, you know what, this feels similar to what happened with my father. I'm going to give Jocko the benefit of the doubt, Jocko Birch. So everybody who they believe he killed, apparently he did not kill. So the evidence obviously looked like it was Jocko, obviously, but we even saw him attacking these people. But apparently that was not him. So the whole situation with the next episode being called Phantoms, which will be season 8, episode 9, which will air next week on the CWTV network, is apparently this person can, I guess, mimic Jocko's image. I don't know if they're like a shapeshifter type of metahuman that can use other people's powers as well. I have no idea, but he didn't actually kill these people. So we saw him attack these people, but he only attacked the one witness excuse me, the one witness at the bar, who was the bartender, she died, but they're saying that he obviously did not do that either. So that whoever decided to kill these people was able to use his whole entire face and body. So the person obviously has to be a shape-shifting type of metahuman who can use and possess the powers of the people that they obviously come in contact with somehow. Because we see Jocko attacking the woman, but she's obviously dead, but he obviously did not kill her with his own flame powered, obviously, anger and obviously metahuman strength. But I didn't like something I saw too. When the police officer went after Jocko to protect his son and a social worker, she pulled out the metahuman gun. Didn't use it at all. I thought that was really weird, because if you're an officer, you're going to pull out a gun and protect people and to take down a metahuman who's got superpowers and can literally shoot lava out of the ground, and there was literally fire coming out of his all around him, his hands. He's very powerful, and as he gets angry, his powers become stronger. Unfortunately, like the dark side, with Star Wars and whatnot, with Anakin Skywalker, who turns into Darth Vader. So that happened. I didn't like that. Also, Killer Frost did help Barry the first time, but prior to that, Allegra didn't jump in to kind of join it in any way. She couldn't really do anything because of her powers aren't ice related, and seeing as how Jocko is a fire powered, obviously metahuman that shoots flames out, Killer Frost obviously was the one that could help Barry the most, but Barry unfortunately had to do the hard part himself, which was phase into the ground, go underground, and try to gather up enough energy to move past the Earth's core to make sure all the hot lava turned into steam or air, and Jocko had to absorb it. So Barry Allen literally, as the Flash, phased underground and did that. It was pretty crazy to see that. So obviously that's why they're bringing up in this article, the Flash just uses upgrades to prove he's the fastest ever, and that's what they were saying. That yes, Barry Allen is now tapped into extra dimensional Speed Force, obviously, and that's what happened when we saw this in this episode. The reason why a lot of people, myself included, are hinting at that Firestorm, aka Robbie Amell, Steve Amell, who plays the Green Arrow, his younger brother, will be back as the Firestorm character superhero, is because he was it came out a couple months ago on news articles everywhere. He's going to be in season 8, so we could have that was obviously confirmed already. So it's looking like, based off of obviously everything that's happened, you can see that people talk about it as well, because Barry Allen's kids, him and Iris West's kids, Bart and Nora Allen, screwed up the timeline a little bit, and things have obviously been going a little weird, obviously, with things disappearing around Barry Allen's wife right here, Iris West Allen. Obviously, she's got some type of dark matter powers surrounding her, so that I don't know if it's going to cause her to possibly phase out some type of way. But if you saw the last couple episodes, you saw how she kind of had that aura / glow around her of the dark matter. And what we suggest, obviously, a couple weeks ago is what you saw is that she might have some type of residual effects that might hurt her. I don't know if Dion's gonna have to come back and do some type of some type of temporal force field to keep her intact, where she has to be isolated, get away from the team, so her whole entire body and existence don't slip into another dimension. But because of that, Robbie Amell will be playing a darker version of Firestorm, which will be a bad guy. He'll be a villain, and it's looking like he can be a shapeshifter as well. That's what it's looking like, because at the end of the episode, Chester, wrong guy, obviously, he took Cisco's place. He told Barry all of the metahumans who have flame powers have been accounted for, but there was only one person who they did not mention or even think of, which is obviously Robbie Amell's character, aka Firestorm. So because obviously, like I said, the timeline situation with Barry Allen's and Iris West Allen's kids screwing up as Impulse and Excess, the speedster children that Barry has as teenagers, obviously young adults, that's going to cause obviously a different version of Firestorm to come into play, where he plays much more sadistic, evil, and dark, and obviously somehow is a shapeshifter, because we saw Jocko attacking that woman, but it was not actually him. So he was being framed by somebody like a doppelganger or a clone, but apparently Firestorm's new abilities, now that he's a villain, allow him to become a shapeshifter. So obviously, I guess that probably only applies to maybe possibly metahumans like himself, who are obviously flame powered, obviously, because he probably couldn't do that to Killer Frost, for example. It wouldn't make sense, because that's not obviously in his genetic makeup or DNA in regards to obviously his powers, because they are fire obviously they're fire based completely. Like I said, like like if you look at like Pokemon, Charizard can't use Squirtle's powers against him, or even use him himself, because Charizard is a flame dragon and Squirtle is a turtle who obviously is water powered and shoots water obviously out of his mouth. So that's what obviously what we'll be seeing with the Flash, obviously. So Jocko was innocent. The DNA, obviously, and data that Chester found matched up to what Barry's theory was, and even though after the team said they didn't believe him, which obviously was only Killer Frost, Cecile, and Chester. Everybody else was doing separate things, so they're the only ones there. So we'll see what happens with that. But Joe West said, you know what, Barry, I understand what you're saying about Jocko. You want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what happens where the evidence takes, obviously, you. And he said, Barry told Joe West, he said, this reminds me of what happened with my father, and no one listened to him. And maybe if people gave him a chance, he probably would have been in jail and obviously become framed for killing my mother, which he obviously did. And it was Eobard Thawne, a.k.a. The Reverse Flash. Actually, no, it was Harrison Wells, the Reverse Flash, that version. Excuse me, but yes, that's what happened. So the episode was very good. It was way better than last week's episode. Goldface was the only fun part about last week's episode. Everybody else having side project missions last week with partying and going to bars was actually not very fun and entertaining. That was actually the heist slash what's it called? Not kidnapping, but it was a takeover. It was called Lockdown last week, season 8, episode 7. Yeah, that was actually better. It was good. This was actually much better. So we'll see what happens next week with Phantoms. Obviously, they're all looking. The whole entire team of Team Flash is looking for whoever is in charge of obviously framing Jocko and who they have to go after next. I don't know if Firestorm is going to be the main villain for the rest of the season. He might be, but obviously, like I said, he's able to become a shapeshifter now, an evil, darker version of him. Somebody said that the other name for him was Deathstorm or something like that. I don't remember the other version of him that's evil. We'll see what happens with that. But it was very fun and entertaining to see a much more better episode than last week's episode. And Barry Allen obviously doing detective work to figure out obviously what happened. But it's pretty crazy because now with timeline changes as well, different characters obviously take different shapes and forms of people, and their powers are different obviously, and they become different versions of themselves that are even more, I guess you can say, not really they can be skewed into a different way, because obviously now Firestorm's going to be a villain out of obviously a hero like he used to before he obviously died. So this will be something that will have to that will actually affect Caitlin Snow. So because obviously she's been going through some issues herself with Frost and her not being one person anymore. Now this is gonna make things worse because she obviously used to date Robbie, and Mel's character on the show. Obviously it was Caitlin Snow, and obviously Firestorm. I forgot the character's name. It was I forgot his name on the show. Robbie and Mel's character, the Firestorm character. I think it was Eric, or I forgot. But anyways, the characters dated each other on the show. We'll see what happens with that, because that's obviously going to affect her. She's not going to be able to deal with the changes and decisions that she's going to have to make in regards to the team fighting him because they were so close. But this is not the same version of him, obviously, as we can see with other shows, just like with Superman and Lois. Superman and Lois are having the issue of John Henry Irons and his daughter Natalie dealing with the fact that they're living with Lois Lane, who's a different version of her, who's not the woman that they were with, who was their mother / Natalie's mother, and obviously John Henry Irons' obviously wife that Superman killed, but they're living with them, obviously not, but they obviously moved out because Clark Kent gave them some space to have more time with each other, and obviously not have to worry about that anymore. But anyways, like I said, when timelines get screwed up, things change. So now Robbie and Mel's character Firestorm is now the bad guy. And we see obviously other situations like that, obviously with Royal Flush meeting each other again on the show, the villains. And we'll see what happens, like I said, with the rest of the show. It's been very fun and entertaining. I don't know who else will be the bad guy / villain on the show throughout the rest of the season. I don't know if Reverse Flash will come back in some type of way. I don't know. But so far it's looking like Firestorm. I don't know who else will be another person to bring issue to the team. Goldface will obviously still be around, and Black Aminat will also be a villain, obviously, as well. That was mentioned a couple weeks ago when he was on the show, Goldface, in last week's episode. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't remember any other villains that could be popping up potentially. But we'll see. Yeah, it was very nice and entertaining. Also, The Flash has been renewed for ninth season, which will most likely be the final and last one. Superman and Lois got a season 3 renewal as well. Other shows on the CW TV network have been renewed, except, of course, unfortunately, so far, Legends of Tomorrow has not been renewed. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure about that. If they do actually give it one more season, which more than likely it could happen, I have no idea. It will be limited to probably 8 to 10 episodes, which is what I've been saying for the past couple of years now, because the show is obviously on its last legs. And they've obviously been syndicated. They've been had over 100+ episodes aired on TV, and now they're on demand, where you can stream them and obviously buy them on the CW TV network. You can watch them for free. They're on Netflix. I don't know if they're on HBO Max. The Legends of Tomorrow, they might be. Not sure, but you can watch those shows on there. Amazon Prime, CW TV network, HBO Max, possibly not Hulu though. But the shows are on there, but you just can't watch the episodes because they're not even there at all, which is weird. If you ever look into that, I did that with a couple of shows. Like I forgot what was the show. Yeah, some certain shows you can actually watch. You go on Hulu, look up the actual show, and put it in your list with the shows and TV and movies and TV shows that you watch. But you can't actually watch the episodes because they're not there, which is obviously really weird. Which makes me think that sometime the shows will probably be on there eventually if they lose their copyrights to another company, or if somebody sells them or buys them out. I have no idea. I'm not sure. But The Flash has been great, obviously. The first 5 episodes were Armageddon, a 5-part miniseries that has been over now, and now the show's moving back into its regular stride of what Barry Allen and the rest of the team are doing to fight crime and obviously save Central City. Besides, obviously, Robbie Amell's character being Firestorm coming back and being a villain. I don't know who else will pop up if anybody else will be back. Obviously, if there'll be any other crossovers happening before the season's over, I have no idea. But we'll see what happens with that. If the Speed Force obviously decides to turn on Barry and the whole team again, I have no idea. If Godspeed might be back, that might be another possibility. I'm not sure. I don't know. But we'll see what happens with that. But that's basically it. That's the end of my video. I don't think there's any comments on the article. No, there's not any. There aren't any. Excuse me. So that's basically it. Yeah. Yeah. I like the episode. I like Jocko having his redemption at the end to save his son, and obviously the city. So we'll see what happens next week on The Flash when it returns for season 8, episode 9. When the title is called Phantoms, and let's see hopefully if the team is closer to piecing the puzzle together to figure out who obviously is framing Jocko and killing people. Obviously, it's like I said, it's Robbie Amell's darker version of Firestorm. But will he be able to figure that out once the episode's over, or will he reveal himself? Possibly. We'll see what happens with that. Also, who is he fused with? Some people were talking about, is he fused with anybody, or did he get some type of upgrade that allows him to not fuse with anybody at all? Obviously, Dr. Stein is no longer around, and Jefferson from the Legends of Tomorrow, so they used to fuse together as one to become Firestorm. Robbie Amell first had it with Professor Stein a couple years ago. If he got some type of upgrade, maybe allowed him to take the power from somebody else, or use some type of technology to give himself the ability to obviously become Firestorm, or use some type of abilities and powers. Kind of like what happened with Pyro and what's it called in the X-Men movies. The second one, X-Men United, he was not able to shoot fire out of his hands. He was only able to manipulate the flame using a lighter to shoot it out of his hands to attack people. In the third X-Men movie, he actually was able to do it after Magneto trained him and told him, I can teach you more and help you actually learn to harness your powers and become much more better than what you've become and what Professor Xavier has basically taught you. That's basically the spiel or the talk that he gave Pyro, which he just turned from hero to bad guy, obviously. So it's something similar to that. But we'll see what happens with that, which was obviously X-Men 2 United and X-Men 3 The Last Stand, obviously in the mid-2000s. If you ever seen those X-Men movies, I suggest you, if you have not checked them out, I suggest you do. That's basically it. That's the end of my video. Again, like I said before, thanks again for watching. This is my review again for The Flash's Season 8, Episode 9 review, and it's titled The Fire Next Time. Thank you again for watching, and that's all I have to say about this in regards to The Flash again and the other CW TV network news. Thank you again. Bye.